Welcome to Just John and April, the relationship podcast, your place for life, love, and laughs. In today's episode, I feel stuck.
Uh-oh.
And word of the day.
Now, that was just the title. That wasn't what you actually feel, right?
No, I do not feel stuck.
Okay, good. Just making sure.
But we are going to talk about that because this is a serious issue.
I believe so, too.
Yeah.
Glad you're joining us for this one because, you have an opportunity to subscribe. This is perfect timing. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and subscribe and click that bell right now.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So feeling stuck. I want to know basically what we're talking about here because I'm not positive I've ever felt stuck in our relationship. So I'm not sure exactly how to define that. What would you say is being stuck?
Well, I think, in some marriages, people feel stuck because they're in situations that they feel like cannot be fixed because the other party will not comply or will not be willing to work on whatever it is that they're dealing with.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
So it's like, you feel like I'm stuck in this spot and I can't get out, because divorce is not an option. We said our vows to each other that we were going to be committed to one another.
Right.
Like in our relationship, divorce is not even a word that is used in our home.
Right.
We don't use that word.
Right.
So I feel like other people have in their mind, I'm not trying to get divorced. You know what I'm saying? That you're not going into a marriage saying, ooh, it's okay, I can just divorce. I mean, I've heard a couple people say that.
Right.
But,
Right.
The majority, I think, goes in thinking,
This is it for life.
This is it.
Yes.
And you go in, you get into situations that you didn't think you were going to get in, into circumstances in your marriage, and then you feel like, I can't get out of this. It's not moving. It's not gonna move. This person is not willing to work on this, and this is a huge part of the relationship that's causing us serious problems, and I'm not happy.
Okay. So I feel stuck. I've never felt stuck in our relationship. I don't think I would go that far, but I do think that I've felt more than once that there are situations that we're going to continue to deal with in our relationship. And I wasn't positive how I felt about that.
Right.
And maybe that's the closest to stuck that I felt. A feeling that I wonder if this will ever change. I wonder if this will ever. No, I mean, for real, man.
This is so funny because you're talking about me.
No, really. I mean, it wasn't just you. It was us.
I'm just saying, this is funny.
It was conflict around a particular issue that seemed to keep coming back up year after year.
Yeah.
You know what
we have those.
You know what it was when we first got married?
What?
Just about every year we had an argument with each other about our siblings.
That's true.
It was something about my sibling, Paul usually, that there was a problem with in terms of the way that he and I interact in a way that somehow affects you. And I felt the same way about you and Kim.
Yeah.
There were things about the way that you interacted that maybe left me out or whatever. And it was kept happening. I was like, is that ever going to change?
Back in the day when he was with Paul, it's like as soon as he got with his brother or his cousin who's like his brother.
Right, Brian.
You know. He would talk to me like I'm a dude.
Right.
He would treat me like them and talk to me like them and, use the same words that he used with them. I'm thinking, I don't like that.
And you remember from previous episodes that April is a words of affirmation person. And
so
we all,
I don't want you talking
Paul,
like I'm
and
your
Brian,
boy.
we talk rough with each other. We joke a lot. We make fun of each other, all that kind of stuff. And if I hadn't seen them in a while and I was with them, the way that I interacted with April was different. She wanted me to be,
regular,
sensitive, soft.
No,
you don't want me to be sensitive to you?
Soft. I wanted you to be regular. You were not yourself.
Okay.
You turned into a dude.
You don't want me to be hard.
Playing basketball on the court.
Okay.
Like, come on.
Now, because we kept running into that. First of all, have you ever felt stuck?
No.
Bet not. Secondly,
but I have felt like you felt
okay,
like this.
That
every
would be the closest
time
thing.
we get with his boys, because it wasn't just your brother.
Right.
It
might
was
be Melvin
also,
or something like that.
Yeah, your boys.
Yeah. That's true. Braun.
He would do that.
Okay.
Then he would treat me like I'm one of the fellas.
Right.
And I didn't like that.
And when April would get with Kim, April and Kim are, they're sisters, but they're more than that. They're best friends, and they're 5 years apart. They're 5 years apart, but they might as well be, twins.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
We are twins. We always say that.
And when we first got married, I think I always loved Kim, and Kim she's always been a great sister figure in my life. Like she's always loved me and stuff like that. It's never been a problem. But I think I was insecure about April and Kim's relationship with each other early on. And whenever they would get together, I would feel left out. They would tell jokes about stuff that I didn't know from back in the day, and they wouldn't explain it. They just the inside jokes just keep on going.
Sorry.
You know what I'm saying? Oh, big deal. It's not that deep. I mean, listen, I'm in now. You know what I'm saying? It's all the ways, no problem. But I'm saying that actually created a situation for me where it was like we would have this argument about it. And then next year, around the same time we see Kim again, we'd have the same argument.
Same here. And I'm like, so it's like, is this ever going to end?
Yeah. I'm like, are we always didn't we talk about this already?
Yeah.
We went down this road. You apologized. You said you weren't going to do it again. Here we are doing it again. Why? Right. I don't get that.
Right.
And so I think the closest to stuck, if we've ever felt anything like that, would be in those situations, at least for me.
Yeah,
that's the closest I felt to that.
Because we have certain arguments or issues that come back. I mean, every couple has that one thing.
Yes,
some people have more than one. Some people have several that keep coming back.
Right.
But we have one or two that keep coming back at least once a year, or sometimes more than that. That will keep coming up because we just cannot solve it.
And you think that might make a person feel stuck?
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. I
think
it's
you
deeper
don't
than
think
that.
Okay.
Because I think it could be because when it takes over the entire marriage.
Okay.
It's the life of the marriage. I think that's where you can feel stuck. Where it's like, I'm not happy. See, I'm not happy because we have these issues that come up every so often.
Because they're not coming up
all
the time.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
exactly.
Right.
But if I had to live in it, consistently live in that space, I probably would be like, okay, I'm not happy.
Right.
Because, you're not happy, and then you feel like I'll never be happy.
Can I ask you a question just for the sake of argument or just to understand better?
Okay.
When you're saying happy, right? Obviously, no one's happy all the time. I mean, right? I mean, you can't be happy 100% of the time. To tell somebody that your marriage is happy, okay? If you to be truthful, what percentage of happiness would you say needs to be there? 60%, 70%?
Okay, I'm going to say what we would want our kids to have on these tests. We want them at least to be...
like when they do the ITBS test. We want to be in the 70th percentile?
You want to be in the 70th percentile.
Okay, so
you
70%,
want them 80th. You do want the 80% or more. You want them in the 90th.
Of course, yeah.
But if your whole school was 70 and above, you would be like, wow, we're really,
all right.
So going somewhere.
So from a teacher perspective, when we're talking to people and we say we're in a happy marriage, all we really need to be is happy 70% of the time to be considered a happy. No, for real.
Well, I think so.
Yeah, because
that's a good number.
If it's 50%, if it's 50-50, if half of the time you're not happy, I don't think you can say you're in a happy marriage. Or at least you don't feel that way.
I don't think so.
Okay.
So
then when people say they're in a happy marriage, you would assume that they're saying we're probably happy at least 70% of the time.
Exactly.
Okay.
And you will have some other people who are 90%, 80, whatever.
Right. Yeah.
But I don't think anybody's 100% because there are times when possible. You're not happy with the situation that you are in at that moment, or you're not happy with the argument that you guys just had, and it's not going anywhere. We're not resolving it. Okay. That does not make you happy.
True.
Okay. So we're not talking about happiness as a whole. Okay.
Yes.
But I'm talking about with what you're just talking about.
Okay.
But I am saying that in a stuck relationship, happiness as a whole is very low.
Okay.
Do you see what I'm saying?
I do. And you feel stuck because it's not going anywhere. Like if you're not happy and it's getting better and you're feeling happier next week than you did last week, and even if it's goes from 40 to 50 and 50 to 60, whatever, you're saying that person might not be happy, but they're not stuck.
Right. Because they feel like we're going somewhere.
Yes.
We're moving.
Got it.
You know what I mean?
Yes, I do.
We're
I know
moving.
exactly what you're saying now.
But
yes.
You have a relationship. You could have a relationship where, there is a huge situation with your partner and who they are. Like they are not what you need them to be for the marriage.
Okay.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
And maybe that they were that at one time. And now they're not for whatever reason. And, it's causing you to be like, we need help. And that person is saying, no, we don't need no help.
Yeah,
we don't need no help. We fine. We fine the way we are.
We don't need them people in our business. Well, here's the thing. This is why I don't think I've ever felt stuck. Because I've always admired this about you. And honestly, it actually makes me want to do it more too. I think you're better at this in this relationship than I am. And that is, you always are willing to work on it, no matter what it is. And I don't care if it's something you hate talking about. I don't care if it's something that really bothers you. I don't care if it's something that really hurts your feelings. I have never seen you in 20 years of marriage almost ever unwilling to work on stuff. So for me, that makes me feel like no matter how bad something is, I know April's at least going to work on it if I say I'm having a problem with something. To me, that makes me feel good.
I feel the same way about you. I feel that you're like that too.
I think I'm like that as a reflection of you, honestly. I don't think I'm naturally like that. I think I'm like that because I'm trying to like, April always wants to, okay, you know what? I need to make sure that I'm at least trying because April always tries.
But
you know
what
I'm saying?
I honestly feel like if you are not even willing, if you don't listen to the person, you're not trying to,
Babe,
how can you be happy?
I agree.
You know what I'm saying? You want to be happy more than not.
I agree.
And regular things in life can make you unhappy.
True.
Regular things that have nothing to do with the marriage, like bills.
Right.
Your kids.
Yeah.
Job.
Right.
Those things can
all kind of outside stresses.
Right. So you want your home to be a place where the happiness can be. So let's go back to marriages that do feel like they're stuck. Okay.
Yes.
Would you be okay with being in a 7-year stuck marriage, not knowing that in that 7th year things were going to get better?
Man, that would be hard. So this is where I think commitment comes in, because I feel like if you make a commitment to a person and if you really believe the vows that you make, because the vows that we make on our wedding day, the vows say that basically I'm in this with you for the long haul when things are good and when things are bad. I mean, you actually say for better or for worse. I mean, what's worse?
No, honey.
You know what I'm saying? You say for richer, for poorer.
You in that worse, honey, but you ain't in it when you saying yes.
Of course.
I feel bad for people who are in those types of relationships because I feel like that's a sad life.
I agree.
You know what I mean? Like, how do you get out of that? How do you talk to your partner in a way when you know they're not interested in fixing it?
Yeah. I think there are a couple of things here that are important to recognize. Number one, I actually believe that people are more in charge of their happiness than they realize. That you don't necessarily have to allow your relationship woes to affect every aspect of your happiness. Now, obviously, that's a big deal because it's your relationship.
And you come home to it.
Yes, but
you got to come home to that every day.
But I actually believe that making a decision to be happy, even though circumstances are not good, is possible. I think it's possible for me. I was just saying this the other day. I think it's possible for me, and I do it sometimes, to say, today I'm not going to be as annoyed. I should say I won't get annoyed as quickly as I do normally. I'll just make a decision one day and say, that's what I'm going to do today. Because, it's a special day and, I do this all the time and I'm always getting annoyed. But today I don't want my wife or my children to feel like they're a nuisance to me. So I'm going to try my best to make sure that I don't get annoyed as quickly. And 9 times out of 10, on those days, I don't get annoyed as quickly, even though everything doesn't go right for me that day. It's not because the day went better. Right. It's actually a lot of times because I made a decision about how I'm going to feel about something. So I'm saying that to say this. I think it's possible for a person to say, I'm going to have a particular mood today about this particular thing. And now all of a sudden, this thing that felt so terrible won't feel as bad just because I've decided to own my feelings and say, I'm going to not allow this to get me off kilter or whatever. I think that's part of the issue. And I think that if a couple decides that they're going to have that kind of attitude in their relationship could immediately get better than it was before. Because not everything's going to go my way. I'm not going to be able to get everything exactly as I want it. Am I going to whine and complain every single time I don't get my way? Or am I going to say, you know what? Sometimes I can't have my way. And it's not the end of the world.
I agree. But I don't think that it's always about your way in stuck relationships.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I think sometimes it is because, you can never get things the way you want it or whatever. And
I would argue that most of the time it is.
Are you kidding me?
Let me tell you why. If the person, okay, let's say your husband's cheating on you or something like that, I would say that's not in the same category. But if your husband does not put the dishes away the way you want him to.
I don't think people feel in a stuck relationship with stuff like that.
I do.
No.
I do. Because I think there are people who, if they boil down their reason for why they really feel the way they feel, it's oftentimes about control. It's about me wanting to control the way you do what you do. And a lot of times, this stuff isn't as big of a deal as they make it seem.
I know, but I'm saying,
I should say, this stuff isn't as big a deal as we make it seem.
Okay.
That's a better way to
I feel
put
like
it.
In those situations, you might feel stuck in that area of your relationship.
Okay.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, but not stuck overall?
Yeah,
okay.
Because, you can have somebody who doesn't want to do any chores. and you feel like you do everything. You take care of the kids, you cleaning up everything. You gotta, you gotta take the kids to school. You gotta dress them. You gotta do all this stuff. Plus get dinner ready and clean up. Okay, I am stuck in that part of our relationship. So, well, I guess you're doing that all the time. And so
right. So here's what I'm saying.
I guess that's
you're making my point, babe. So here's what I'm really saying.
Okay.
Let's just say that same person that you're saying is complaining about that, let's say their major love language is acts of service. Now what happens is that thing that you think is no big deal because you're not really helping actually ends up making them feel unloved. And they go weeks and weeks and weeks with that. And now they start feeling like, you know what? Am I ever going to?
Never going to change.
It's never going to change. It's always like this. I'm just stuck.
And then every time you say something, the partner says, please, or I got this to do, or I'll be working all day.
Exactly. There's always a reason.
That is true. I guess you could feel stuck. I have to take that back.
So here's what I'm really saying.
Right.
Here's what I'm really saying though. Let's take that same example because that's perfect because I'm an acts of service person. I know how this feels. Let's just say I decide one day that I'm going to not let it bother me that much when I have to do 4 or 5 things. Guess what happens? Because I've done this.
Wow.
What happens is I don't get bothered by it as much.
What do you mean because you've done this?
I'm saying I've
He's
been
trying to throw a little. Wow.
I'm not throwing any shade.
Oh, you threw some shade just now.
I'm just saying
I've done this. You snuck that in there. So I would be like,
this is all I mean, America. that sometimes acts of service people, we tend to be like, I'm the only one who ever does anything kind of people because we don't understand. First of all, acts of service people usually can't see past that day. They can't remember what happened yesterday, and they can't think that anything's gonna be different tomorrow. And so here I am. I'm all in my feelings already, and I'm washing clothes, and I'm folding something in there, and I'm saying to myself, I'm always the one that has to do this. When in fact, my wife washed clothes 3 times this week, but I didn't think about that because right now I'm thinking, you know what I'm saying? Okay.
True.
Okay, so that's all I mean. All I mean is that I think I have more control over whether or not I feel stuck.
I see what you mean.
I think stuck is a feeling, and I think we should stop ascribing our feelings to other people. Other people can't control how I feel. Other people might contribute. Maybe they do something here or there, and it might I might react a certain way. But I gotta own my reaction. I've gotta own my feelings. And I'm saying I think the feeling of being stuck begins with me. And if I decide that I'm not going to be stuck, I'll be a little less stuck today than I was yesterday because I'm not really stuck. It's just a feeling. That's all it is.
You don't think people really are stuck, though?
No.
You can't put it all in the same category as the whole cleaning up thing.
I do think there are different categories. No question about it. Yes. I think there's different categories of stuckage. You're right.
No, seriously. There are because you have some abusive stuckage.
And that's different.
That is different. Okay. Let's not go down that road because that's not what I'm talking about.
Let me just say right now, since you said that.
Because I think people like that need to get out of those relationships.
Since you said that,
need to get
I believe
out of
if you are in a physically abusive relationship, that's a different category of being stuck. We're not talking about that today.
Even infidelity, that is not the same.
If your husband or wife is cheating on you and having an affair with somebody else, that's not stuck. That's not the same thing.
That's true.
I'm talking about things like, I can't get everything the way that I want. If I'm going to be perfectly happy, here are the things that I need. This is how I think of it, right?
Yeah.
I think of happiness in terms of what you do and the way that I respond to those things. That's what happiness is. But that's not what real happiness is. I think happiness begins with you and your inner relationship with God. That's what I actually believe.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of times we ascribe happiness to other people. So if I'm going to be happy in my relationship, I need my wife to do this, that, and the other. But guess what? My wife's not going to do all those things exactly the way I want her to do them. And if I can't control her the way I want to, does that mean I'll never be happy? Oh, that's dumb. That can't. So a lot of people that are stuck, I think, are stuck because they want a certain level of control that they can't have, and they feel like if they can't get things this exact way, they won't be happy. Well, I think you need to redefine what happiness is. I think happiness starts inside of you. That's what I believe, and I believe it comes with the God that you serve inside of you. And you don't have to let somebody else necessarily be the person that defines whether or not you're happy. I'm very happy in my relationship with my wife. My wife makes me happy all the time. And I can use the word makes because I believe she actually is trying to make sure that I'm happy. And I try to do the same thing with her. But I'd like to believe that I could be happy even if my wife does not try to make me happy that day. You know why? Because she does not affect and totally control every mood that I have. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And you got to stop saying people do.
Yeah. I think you've schooled me a little bit. You did. You schooled me a little bit. But I just feel like I also want to be real. Not saying you're not being real. Right. I agree that is true.
Right.
But for some people, that's harder.
I agree. It's not different. It's not easy.
It's not.
No.
It's hard to, it's hard to make yourself happy when you come in and you are in this maybe negative environment every day.
True.
Do you know what I mean?
I agree with you.
So I think that you can sometimes have happy moments where you decide, I'm going to be happy. I'm going to be happy. And then you come into a situation that brings you down. You know what I mean? And again, we're not talking about abuse anymore. We set that aside. You need to get out of those relationships. That's not what I'm talking about.
Absolutely.
But I'm talking about even with the whole you doing everything and the husband isn't, or the wife isn't doing her, her part. You guys have decided on who's going to do what, and they don't do their part or whatever. I feel like you can decide, I'm not going to get upset about that. But then every day, you
like
coming
Chinese
back.
water torture.
That's what I'm saying. After a while,
yeah,
it's like that person's not making you mad.
Right.
I think that
there's only so much a person can take.
Yes, I think
After
there's
a while,
only
they
so
break
much.
Down.
I mean, I do. I believe that after a while, there's only so much somebody can take to the point where they're just like, look, I can't take this no more.
Right.
And then especially when the other person's not even willing to listen.
Because that's what I think the key is.
I think that's different.
To me, the key is that everybody in the relationship, both people, have to always be willing to be willing.
Yes.
That's the key.
Always.
If you're not willing to be willing, that's a problem.
Yeah.
And that will always make you feel stuck.
But I think that's where stuck happens.
Yeah.
When there's at least one person who is not even willing.
Right.
And I think that's where you feel stuck, because you're like, even though I'm expressing my feelings, this person doesn't even want to fix this.
Yes.
You
now,
know?
I have a secret for that too.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
I actually believe that husbands and wives have the ability to impact their spouses. I shouldn't say the word impact. Let me say influence.
Okay.
I think husbands and wives have the ability to influence their partner's behavior with positive reinforcement.
That's true.
In a way that they don't use often enough.
Now that is true. I agree.
I think we use negative reinforcement a lot. We use the silent treatment. We roll eyes at each other. We do different things to show the other person that we're.
Don't do what you're supposed to do because you're upset that they didn't do their part.
That's exactly right.
So you're gonna say, okay, well then I'm not cooking,
That's
or okay, well then I'm not gonna take the kids to school or whatever.
Yes. But I think there are other ways that partners can use to be able to infect or influence their partner's attitude toward them. That is a positive thing. Like we talked several episodes ago about, how you basically get me to do stuff for you by asking right after we've, participated in the brown chicken brown. You know what I mean? And I didn't know until you told me on the podcast that basically you were manipulating me.
Manipulating.
And then I said, I don't even mind. You know what I'm saying?
It's a good strategy.
It is a good strategy. But I think there are other things like that too. There's something that your spouse really loves that you can do for him or for her. And then while that thing is happening, you could have a conversation that might make them more willing to listen. Whereas in another situation, if they felt like they were being ambushed or it was some kind of a negative kind of, we got to have this talk again type thing, they wouldn't want to. And it may make them seem like they are unwilling when in fact, maybe they are willing. It's just the timing isn't right or something like that. I think there's ways around this stuff.
Okay. So basically killing them with kindness.
Absolutely.
So sometimes you can feel stuck because of the way you are acting.
I think so too. That's
because of the way you're responding to whatever is going on could keep the
stuckness going.
Well, could keep the circumstance or the situation going.
Absolutely.
Because if you're nagging, we need help or whatever, then it could cause them to be like, no, I'm not doing that because of your attitude about it.
Yes.
So that's true. So look at, it could be, if you feel stuck, look at the way that you're responding to what you're stuck about. Like what's causing the stuckage.
Right.
Whatever is causing that, it could be your response towards it that is causing you to have this stuck feeling where you feel like your partner's not willing, but really it's you.
Yeah.
So sometimes, really, the answer to this question or the answer to this problem is look at yourself first.
Yes.
See what you're doing and how you can change some things.
Yes. Don't always assume that it's your spouse.
Don't always assume it's just them.
It's right.
Because it's usually both.
It almost never is just them.
Just one. Yeah.
Everybody has their side of the story, and then there's the truth.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I just feel like I don't know if we have the answer to unstucking, but I do think starting with looking at yourself and figuring out what you're doing to contribute, I think makes a huge difference.
I agree.
Anyway, I'm just glad I'm not stuck right now.
I'm glad I'm not stuck in you brought me back in my mind where I needed to be with how I should be thinking about this. That was good, babe. Thanks.
Now it's time for word of the day.
Word of the day. I love this word of the day.
Word of the day. This one is weird, actually.
Okay, it is. It's different,
Yeah,
but
it's a little different.
I like the meaning of it.
I like it too. It's nice.
This word is called stuck.
Stuck.
Okay, so here's the meaning. Finally being happy in a relationship after several failed attempts that made you feel stuck.
Wow.
Okay, so here's a sentence.
Yes.
So that you can really understand it.
Right.
Okay. I felt stuck in my relationship for years.
Mm-hmm.
Now I am happily married and could never leave my spouse. Now I am stuck.
There you go.
I like that.
So you may have been in several failed relationships and
where you felt stuck.
Yeah, where you felt stuck
Yeah.
and stuff like that. And maybe now you are finally in a good one and you are about to take the plunge and maybe ask this person to marry you, or maybe you're married to them now and you are stuck.
Yeah.
That's good.
Hopefully that is the case.
Yeah.
And if you feel stuck, we talked about you looking at yourself.
That's right.
What can you do to help?
Yep.
Killing with kindness. I mean,
Yep.
that's the best way to start to see
Yes.
if that can help with the change.
And if each of you is willing to be willing, I think you're probably in a situation where you'll never, ever really feel stuck all the way.
True.
That's what you gotta be.
I agree.
Anyway, hope that helps you.
All right.
See you next time.
Bye.
Thanks for watching Just John and April.
Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Also hit that notification bell to be notified about our next episode.
See you next time.
Bye.